Welcome back! Today we are going to learn about the features and functionality of the Block Designer. The Block Designer is a key component to building your design with accuracy. It provides the ability to draw an individual block design using shapes, then color the shapes with predefined color palettes, custom colors, or uploaded images from your image library. Design blocks are the building blocks of your design. Blocks can be used in many different ways that we will explore in other videos. For this video, we are going to focus on the features of the Block Designer. Let's begin! When starting out with a new design project, the first thing you'll want to do is begin creating your first block. To open the Block Designer, ensure that the Design Blocks sidebar is visible from the main design canvas. Clicking the Design Blocks icon from the side navigation will show or hide the Design Blocks sidebar. The Design Blocks sidebar provides a listing of existing blocks already in the design. Let's begin by creating a brand new block by selecting the button with the plus icon or selecting the New Block button at the bottom. The Block Designer window opens with a blank canvas ready to begin designing. Let's get familiar with the interface. The main canvas area, currently showing a grid, is the main area to design and place shapes and images. The measurement rulers are along the top and left edges of the canvas area. The top toolbar gives you quick access to tools that manipulate shapes and images. The zoom control is on the left. The right sidebar gives you the additional options and features available. We will explore these features in a moment. The save and cancel buttons are at the bottom. The first thing we want to do is set our block size or dimensions. This should be our finished block size. We always want to work with finished dimensions. Set the block width and height to your desired dimensions. In our example, we are going to create a 12-inch by 12-inch block. We change the values to match our desired size. Since there are no shapes or images currently on the grid automatically adjusts to the new dimensions. If needed, I can reset the zoom using the zoom control panel on the left. I can choose to zoom in, zoom out, or reset to fill the canvas. I am going to select Reset so that my new canvas size fills in the space to make it easier to see the grid lines. Next, we see Smart Parameters. We will come back to this a little bit later. For now, let's next look at the grid line scale. The grid line scale is used to create the grid lines on the canvas. This allows for wider or finer precision when working with shapes. The grid line scale can be changed at any time and does not have to stay one value. As you work with shapes, feel free to change this between 1/8 inch to a full 1 inch to help get the perfect placement for shapes and images. As I move the grid line scale slider between 1/8 inch and 1 inch settings, the grid lines on the canvas change to represent my selection. Next, selecting the Shapes panel reveals commonly used shapes that are available to be placed on the canvas. Shapes are simple starting points for more complex shapes and block designs. Selecting a shape adds it to the canvas. Let's add a triangle for now. Selecting the triangle shape icon adds the shape to the center of the canvas. The new shape can be interacted with. You can move the shape by simply selecting and dragging around the grid. The shape will snap to the grid lines based on the grid line scale. This is how we achieve perfect placement of shapes using the grid line scale. All shapes will snap to the scale based on its setting. Shapes can also be resized and scaled. Selecting or clicking a shape activates the shape transform. The shape transform allows you to scale and skew the shape to meet your design requirements. The shape transform creates a bounding box around the shape with predefined anchor points. Simply grab any of the anchor points and move it in the direction you wish to scale the shape. Using this type of transform will keep the shape in its current structure. To get a more custom shape, when the shape transform is active, hold down the Shift key on your keyboard. Holding down the Shift key activates freeform shape transformation. You notice the anchors no longer create the bounding box, but instead they are tied to the physical points of the shape. In our example, the triangle has 3 points. Each point has its own anchor point ready to be interacted with. Using the freeform transform, I can manipulate the shape even further. Still continuing to hold the Shift key, drag an anchor point to a new desired location. Only this anchor point will move. All other points will remain in their original position. The anchor point will snap to the grid line. This allows me to produce more custom shapes beginning with a simple shape. As I interact and manipulate a shape, I can visually see the rulers are automatically adjusting. This allows me to quickly identify when I have the shape in the proper place and size relative to the overall block design. Clicking in an empty area on the canvas will deactivate any transformer. Let's go ahead and add one more triangle for now. Once we have placed one or more shapes on the canvas, we can further add to the design. Let's next expand the Colors and Palettes panel on the sidebar. Let's look at what all is going on here. 1. The colors and palettes for this design represents existing custom colors and color palettes I have previously chosen to be used in this design. Since this is a brand new design, there isn't anything yet available. Once I begin adding colors and palettes, they will show up here. 2. The additional available color palettes area shows platform predefined color palettes for you to use. There are over 70 predefined color palettes in the system ranging from various color schemes and patterns. You can scroll down through the color palettes and select Load More Palettes to continue looking through all the available options. Or you can choose to search for a palette by keywords. You can search for things such as bright or sunny. Maybe you want pastel colors or bold. If you find a color palette you wish to use, simply click the palette. It then is added to the Colors and Palettes area above, ready to be used for coloring shapes. 3. The Select a Custom Color option allows for the creation of custom colors and palettes. Selecting the eyedropper icon opens the Custom Color dialog. From there you can create a custom color based on more advanced techniques such as visually moving the sliders, specifying the RGB, HSL, or HTML hex values. Yes, I know that is a lot of buzzwords. Don't worry about them. Moving the sliders is most often the easiest approach to getting a custom color unless you specifically know one of the mentioned advanced values. Choosing OK on the Custom Color dialog adds the custom color to my Colors and Palettes area, ready for use. Now that we have some colors we've selected, we can begin using them. Selecting a color swatch from the Colors and Palettes area activates the Color Painter. The mouse pointer changes to represent the color I am currently active with. At this point we can paint one or many shapes by clicking on them when the Color Painter is active. In our example, I chose a color from the palette, which activates the Color Painter. I select the triangle and the chosen color gets painted on the shape. You can continue to color more shapes by clicking on it to paint the color. Exit the Color Painter by pressing the Escape key on your keyboard. Next is the Images and Fabrics area of the sidebar. Similar to how colors are used, images can also be used to paint shapes and gives a more realistic representation to your design. The images used for this design area shows what images have been used within the design. Since this is a new design and we haven't previously chosen any images to work with, this area is empty. To use or add an image, select the Open Image Library button. This opens your image library. Any previously uploaded images are displayed, ready to be selected for use. If you do not have any images, you'll want to first upload an image to the library. You can upload new images directly from this window. We won't go into all the details of the image library in this video. Be sure to check out the e-learning video on the image library for all the features and instructions. For our design, we are going to select a previously uploaded image of a swatch of fabric. This is an image of fabric we intend to physically use in our physical product. Selecting an image adds a checkmark icon to indicate that it is selected. Choosing the OK button on the window will close the window and activate the Image Painter. Similar to the Color Painter, the mouse pointer changes to represent the image I am going to paint. Now that the Image Painter is active, I can paint a shape with the image. Let's select one of the triangle shapes. Upon selecting the shape, the image is painted onto the shape, overriding any existing color or image previously there, just like the Color Painter. However, unlike the color painter, the image painter exits automatically after painting a shape. To activate the image painter again or at any later time, select a previously used image from the images used for this design or use the image library window to select a new image. Let's paint both of our triangles with the same fabric. Let's explore additional options available for shapes. We can click to select one of our shapes to activate the shape and the shape toolbar. Across the top is the shape toolbar. The toolbar contains additional options when working with shapes. Let's explore them. 1. Duplicate. The duplicate option makes a copy of the shape and adds the new copy to the canvas as a new shape. You can then interact with the new shape independently. 2. Rotate. The Rotate menu gives you additional options for ways to rotate the shape. You can choose from predefined 45, 90, or 180 degrees in either clockwise or counterclockwise directions. 3. Arrange/layers. Sometimes you'll encounter where there is a shape over another shape, or a shape behind another. The Arrange/layers menu gives you the ability to move the shapes forward and backwards in the design, moving them below or above other shapes. This is useful if a shape gets hidden by another on accident. 4. Image. The image menu only shows up for shapes that have an image painted on them. Empty shapes or shapes painted with only colors do not have this menu. The image menu gives you the ability to control how the image is represented in the shape. There are multiple options available. We will come back to these options in a moment. 5. Delete. The delete option will delete the shape and remove it from the block design. These same options are also available if I use my mouse or touchpad to right-click or alternate-click on a shape. I can access this menu on a Mac by holding the Control key and clicking. For this example, let's choose to duplicate the active block. Choosing the duplicate option creates a new shape with the exact properties as the original. I can interact with the new shape independently. Let's now rotate our shape 180 degrees. To perform this action, we click to select the shape and activate the toolbar. We could instead choose to right or alternate click on the shape to reveal the menu. We are going to use the toolbar in this example. Choose whichever method works best for you and your device. Choose the rotate option and then choose the 180 degrees option. The shape is rotated 180 degrees, maintaining its original properties and dimensions. I can continue to interact with this shape or others. Let's repeat that once more. Activate the menu. Select the duplicate option. Activate the sub-menu once more, and this time we are going to choose to rotate the shape 90 degrees in the clockwise direction. Move the shape in its desired place. Let's finish creating our design for our block. We will add a few more shapes and paint them with colors from a palette that matches our color scheme. Once we are complete and satisfied with our design, we choose the Save button at the bottom of the window to save our block and add it to the overall design. The Block Designer window closes, taking you back to the main design canvas. The new block gets automatically added to the first available position or space within the design. The Design Block sidebar now shows our completed block. If we need to edit a block and return to the Block Designer, we highlight the block in the Design Blocks navigation sidebar and choose the Edit icon. The Block Design window opens with our chosen block loaded and ready for editing. When changes are saved, they immediately update back to the main design canvas. Let's now take a look at some of the additional options available when working with images that we didn't cover a moment ago. Start a new block by clicking the Create a New Block icon from the Design Blocks sidebar. The Block Designer window opens with a blank canvas ready to design. In this example, we are going to mimic what might be a block for a memory or t-shirt product. These typically involve more images than traditional designs. I have already uploaded my images to my image library. I have several images to choose from. To get started, recall that we need a shape in order to paint with an image. Let's create a square shape. Selecting the square icon adds the shape to the canvas. We're going to make the square the full size of the block. In this case, the square is stretched to fill the 15-inch by 15-inch block. Now I am ready to paint the image. Selecting the Open Image Library button from the Images/Fabrics panel opens the image library. I am going to select a previously uploaded image to use for this block. The image painter activates Ready to Paint. I select the square shape to paint the image. Whoa! What is going on? The image is repeated across the shape. That is not what I wanted in this scenario. That is okay. It is common that the image is smaller than the shape, or the image is a different aspect ratio than the shape. We have options when working with these scenarios. Selecting the shape to activate the toolbar allows me to use the image options available. Let's look at each of the options. 1. Toggle Repeat/No Repeat. This feature toggles between allowing the image to repeat itself to fill the entire shape or choose not to repeat. Selecting this option multiple times toggles between the options. You can see that the default was to repeat the image. Selecting the Toggle Repeat/No Repeat option will turn off the repeat. Now the image is only displayed once, but there is space around the image that is not filled. If I select the option once more, it returns to the repeat behavior. 2. Toggle Stretch/Don't Stretch. The stretch option toggles between allowing the image to stretch to fill the entire shape or not allowing it to stretch. Choosing this option a couple times, you can see how the behavior changes. Using a combination of repeat versus no repeat and stretch versus don't stretch, I can achieve the desired results for almost any image or fabric swatch. Sometimes, you'll want to stretch the image to fill a shape. Other times you will want to repeat the design, similar to how the fabric pattern repeats with physical fabric. We recommend trying all the options to see which one produces the best results for your scenario. The third option in the image menu is Remove Image. Selecting this option removes the image from the shape. Unlike delete, it leaves the original shape and only removes the image from the shape. Images and colors can be used to paint any shape, not just square shapes. Let your creativity be your guide. Let's use one more example of an advanced block design. We will create a star and transform it to fill the block dimensions. Then fill the shape with a pattern. I now want to fill in the spaces around the star. That is a really custom shape that is needed. However, let's think about this in terms of points. The spaces I want to fill have 4 points similar to a square. So, let's start with a square. We can then use the shape transform to alter the precise points of the shape. Recall, we can hold down the Shift key to turn on freeform mode. Now we can alter our square into something that is closer to what I am needing. Oh no! My points are not snapping to the exact point on the edge of the star. This is because the grid line scale is preventing it. Let's reduce the grid line scale to a smaller value of 1/8 inch. Now, we can adjust all of the points to line up together so they are right against each other, allowing for precision in the design. We can repeat this process a few more times to complete filling in the areas around the star. We are going to speed up the video for this section. Now finish the new shapes with some complementary colors, and we are ready to save! We have covered the basic features of the Block Designer. Thank you for watching, and remember, in the tapestry of life, your creativity adds color and depth to every thread.